Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I'm Sunny Pancholi, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leaders interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulas for many. And this is what we aim for with these sessions by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such industry titan on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Mr. Partha Majumdar. He stands out as a highly accomplished leader, bringing forth a unique blend of technical prowess and strategic acumen. With a wealth of experience spanning diverse roles and industries, he has established a track record marked by innovation, efficiency, and business success. His academic and professional prowess has culminated in the form of 13 books that have been published and a 14th one upcoming. His earlier role as the managing director of Majumdar Consultancy Private Limited showcased his entrepreneurial spirit, where he successfully nurtured a fledgling business into a success with a global footprint. Notably, his tenure in Saudi Arabia with tools and solutions saw him generate $50 million in business within a mere 19 months, a testament to his strategic vision and execution capabilities. As the Vice President of Software Engineering at JPMorgan Chase & Co., he has spearheaded impactful initiatives contributing to the evolution of software development paradigms. At present, he is setting up a firm in the UAE with a Canadian investor. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, Mr. Majumdar.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So could you provide a brief overview of your professional journey and key milestones in your career? And how did your early experiences shape your approach to leadership and problem solving?
Well, I started my career as a programmer in 1989, and I have been programming ever since, and I plan to continue to program in the rest of my life as well. Now, the thing is that, being a programmer, it is not just about software programming. It's also about programming businesses. It's also about programming people. Now, I started my career in the training industry, computer training industry. However, in the training industry also, I was developing software. But however, I got a break into the software development industry in 1994 when I joined at IIT. Ever since, I have been involved in developing more than 20 enterprise class products, and I have delivered more than 75 successful projects. Now, the first big product that I developed was in Thailand, when we developed a manufacturing resource planning software, which sold more than 200 copies within a span of 1.5 to 2 years in the Southeast Asia and Hong Kong markets. The first customer of the software was Intel for their factory in Malaysia, which is called Solectron. So this was a big boost because I learned a lot of things while developing this software, and it was a very successful product also. Second, after that, I got a chance to work in the telecom billing and customer care software in 1996. And between 1996 and 99, we developed a software for a customer in Thailand called Total Access Communications. This software was very challenging, and the business requirements are very stringent. And it ended up in a software which won an award in Southeast Asia for being the best software in 1999. Then I worked in Siemens. In Siemens, I developed the complete suite of business software solutions, the BSS solutions, which we call for a telco. And the highlight, what I think for our team, was that we managed to sell every piece of software, more than 20 products that we developed, to at least one customer, if not more. So it is not just about developing software, but it's also that it should be utilized for the industry, which is important. That is, otherwise the companies and the enterprises do not value or do not have interest in the products that is developed. Well, I kept working in a vendor organization till 2010, and in 2011, for the first time, I worked with a incumbent telecom service provider in Saudi Arabia, that is Mobili. And that was a different experience because being with a vendor and being with the incumbent is different. And I had that experience. So I have the experience of having both worked with a vendor, selling solutions, and also with a incumbent who is acquiring solutions for the enterprise. So, and as an enterprise architect of the Mobili, I had a close experience of uh, uh, creating what is required for the enterprise for the best of business and technology. Then my journey continued to open an enterprise of my own in 2014, and we were successful. There were challenges. We will discuss about that, and then there was a hiccup in my career in terms of some nitty-gritties, and so I joined back JPMorgan to the corporate world and worked there for 2 years, but my heart was in enterprise. So I'm starting out to look for setting up a venture in UAE, as you mentioned. This time we have got leads, which we think will culminate, and we will be able to set up an enterprise which will sustain for a longer duration. Now, in terms of what I learned from my early career is that, see, there is no replacement for hard work. The more I hear about smart work and all this kind of stuff, more I'm convinced that there is no replacement for hard work. So hard work is essential for everyone in every stage of the life. Now, it does not matter really how intelligent you are, even if the best of intelligent people require to work hard if they want to make a solution which is worthy of its salt. Now, another very important aspect is that if you want to create anything which is useful to the world for a very long period of time, a lot of work requires to get into it. There's no work which is big or small. There's no assignment which is simple or which is simple, actually. Every assignment, if it has to be done in the proper manner, is very tough. It requires a lot of skills. It requires a lot of time to be spent on that. If you see the structures which is there in India or Europe, which are age-old, now the main thing about those structures is that they have lasted for so many years because centuries, because the people took time to develop them and people spent a lot of effort in developing them. So that applies to anything in the industry. If you want to develop something which will sustain for a very long period of time, you require to give it time. You require to plan properly. You require to spend a lot of energy in developing those solutions. Now, another aspect of today's working is that I realized during my career is that to develop a good solution, you require a knowledge of more than one domain. It is many, many domains. Like we were developing software, but initially we were only experts in computer programming and we were developing software. But developing software is not just about knowing how to develop write computer programs. Now, one thing may be obvious to people, like if I'm developing a software for the manufacturing industry, I should have some knowledge of the manufacturing industry. And if I'm developing a software for the telecom industry, I should have some knowledge of the telecom industry. Actually, it is no more than some knowledge. But that is also not enough. You're required to know about the society for who will utilize the software. You need to know about people who will utilize the software. And there are many more domains. Like now you're talking about things like carbon footprinting, etc. Many people know that software is not as simple as that, because the servers which serve the systems generate a lot of energy which is harmful for the earth. So now we need to be aware of that, and while developing software we need to be aware that we need to create a system which will work efficiently and work to the requirements of the earth, not only just the people it is meant to be serving. So developing a software requires knowledge of many domains. It requires to be responsible. citizen who will develop the software and not make any bad use of the technologies at hand. So yeah, this is what is shaping my life, and I'm trying to communicate these ideas to people who are young, and it takes, and these are something which is not possible to be taught in the colleges. It has to be realized through experience in the industry. So it is important for people who have gone through these phases to be able to communicate this to the people who are in the coming generation, so that they become more responsible and they generate better solutions right from the start of their careers, rather than us who are realizing it to the end of our careers.
Mr. Partha, thank you for the excellent start to this interview. And I must say, your career journey is truly inspiring.
Thank you so much.
So, continuing our conversation, our viewers would like to know, can you share a specific instance where you successfully managed a team through a challenging project or situation, testifying your leadership skills?
Yeah, there have been many, but okay, let's start with my first project as a project manager in 1995. I was made the project manager for a project in Thailand for a company called Simco, Computer Integrated Manufacturing Computer Company PLC, private limited company. Now, this company assigned us to make a software for manufacturing resource planning, MRP2 it was called. Earlier we had MRP, that is material resource planning. This is the second version of that, MRP2, and later on MRP2 has evolved into ERP. So we were to develop a software for MRP2 just to be sold to all the factories in the Southeast Asia market mainly, and like I told you before, it was sold to not only Southeast Asian market but also in Hong Kong markets and somewhere in Australian markets also. Now the challenge was that this project, our estimation team went and estimated this project at 200,000 US dollars. You know that Indian companies normally do not estimate at a very high estimation. This was a very conservative estimation, but our marketing team sold this product at 40,000 US dollars. Now, that was because they wanted to make an entry into the Thailand market, and that was the reason. Now, this project was assigned to me, and I had to complete this project within the budget what we had and within the time period of 8 months. So the leverage what we had was very little. Now we had 8 people in our team, all were very qualified people, excellent people. That is why this project was possible to be delivered within time and within the budget. Now, our strategies were simple. Okay, this is not a very easy project also, because we chose not to use the Windows platform, because Windows was new in those days and it was very unstable, and that would make the software not very reliable. So we developed the entire GUI from the scratch. Like we developed, you believe me, like for the development purpose, we developed the controls like the radio buttons or the check boxes or the text boxes, and also we developed the device drivers like the mouse interface, etc. from the scratch. And we created a platform called Mask, on which using which this software was to be developed. So the first strategy was that we created program templates. Though the software was quite modular, we created program templates, and so as to minimize the amount of programming what we have to do, and maximize the amount of reuse of components and reuse of program code bits, etc. Excuse me. That was number one. And second, the only strategy we had in our hand was to slog. All the 8 of us, we worked at an average of 12 hours per day, and for a continuous period of 8 months, without a break, without weekends, and we finished the software. There was one lady in our team who had to get married, and we gave her a holiday of 3 days. She went to Odisha, got married, and came back. So that was the only absence in our team during this phase of time. It was excellent work by the team, and it was only possible because every person put in their very best. Now, this was very challenging. In the end, we delivered the software within the budget, within the time, within the agreed time, and the client was extremely appreciative of this. And I do not know whether it's a consequence of that, but our company did a huge amount of business in the Thailand market after that phase of time. This was the first project in Thailand, and after that, we did tremendous amount of business there. So this was my good initiation into project management. After this, we did a project in IBM, which was short period, but then came the largest project of my life till date in total access communication, when we were to build a customer care and billing solution for a telecom company. Now, the business requirement was very stringent, basically because what this company was doing was that they were using a very expensive software from a company called Kingston, and they did not want to continue with that company simply because the license cost was very high for the software. So we had to complete software from the scratch before the license renewal was due. So that was a business requirement, and we had a huge team. Now, huge team is not always advantage, but we didn't have a choice because the enormity of the work was very big. Now, huge team is in operations very nice, but huge team in software development is not really an advantage, because software developers, each of them are creative, and that can lead to a whole different kinds of codes coming from every individual. So here we did not take away the creativity, but we created templates and we created automation, rapid development tools like in every software we have certain kinds of programs that have to be written. Like some are transactions, some are validations, and etc. And in the modern times, these are much more made easy, but in those days, it was not really. So we had anticipated these things and we had created these things much before the modern people have done it right now in a better way. Now, we created rapid development tools, and we told the programmers that you need to utilize this tool and utilize your creativity only if the template is not serving the purpose of the requirement. Now, this made possible that such a large software got developed well within time. Also, there was decent amount of consistency among the programmers' outputs across the software. This is very important because it is not just enough to make a software which works. After the software starts going into production, it has to be maintained by the future for many, many years. Now, there were people of 7 nations who worked on this solution. And part of it was intentional, like we did not want people of the same nation who are developing the software to also test the software. So the software was largely developed by Indians, Thais, and Australians, we got South Koreans to test the software. So there was no bias in the testing, what they would conduct. So, and also there was another huge risk which we took. That is, since we were slightly delayed in our project timelines, we decided to go live with this software in a flesh cut mode. That is, we did not have a parallel run, and we just tested the software, ensured everything was working fine, and we decided to go live with it. And we were praying. That is the only thing we could do. However, fortunately for us, there was no breakdown and the software went on smoothly. Now, the gratifying part about this journey of mine in this 3.5 years at Total Access Communication was that about 17 years later, I connected with the project management manager of that project, Thai lady, on Facebook. And she told me that they were still using some components of that software. So this is very gratifying. So again, it is an extreme amount of teamwork, technical acumen, etc., which was required to accomplish this. And looking back, now that you asked this question, it really feels nice to remember those challenges and the journey what we had.
That sounds incredible. So building on to that, what are some factors in your professional life leading to your entrepreneurial ventures, and how have you shared your learnings with the community?
Okay. Now, starting my own enterprise was more of a personal requirement and a family requirement than anything else. The thing was that since 2002, Um, I was living away from my family uh, most of the time in different countries or in different cities. This is because my wife took a stance that she would educate our daughters in India, and she would not like them to be changing cities very frequently, or not at all actually. So I appreciated this thought of hers, because there was that stability in the education of our kids was required. So I was traveling around either within India or outside India, and I was in Saudi Arabia between 2011 and 2013 in Mobili. And coincidentally, at that point of time in Mobili, I was doing a good job, because I got five-star appraisal ratings. Now, in Mobili, five-star appraisal rating in those days meant that you get 9 months salary as a bonus. Plus, there was an innovation contest, and in the innovation contest, I uh, proposed the most number of innovations, that is 36. And as a result of that, also I got a good award. And this meant that I had a decent amount of money. Now, at this point of time, also my parents are not keeping very well. So I decided that, okay, now I would leave Mobili and come back to India and start something on our own. Because I had some money with me, which I could utilize to start a venture. Now, we did start a venture. We started off very well. We within 15 days of us having started the company, we got an order. We got our first order, which was a decent order, and that was from Zain, Saudi Arabia, to create create their 3-year technology roadmap and assist them in selecting a vendor who would execute the roadmap. Now, subsequently, also we were getting orders, but there was a challenge. The challenge was that what do you call, collecting money was becoming a problem for us. We were delivering products which were being utilized, which were going into production, or which were appreciated, but we were having challenge in getting our payments. So while this was going on, what do you call, there was a businessman from Dubai who asked me if I would set up a company with him. Yeah, Indian branch of his company in company which was in Dubai. I did that, and here again we were doing very well. We had a lot of orders from Dubai. We had a lot of orders from Egypt. Our biggest customer was Etisalat Misr, or Etisalat Egypt, as it is called. Now, again, there was an intervention of fortune, because suddenly the Egyptian economy collapsed, and we had nearly $2 billion of ours stuck in Egypt. Egyptian government had a diktat that no US dollars could be let out of the country. So it took us 19 months before we realized our money. That too, not the full money. We got about 60% of our money. Now, this obviously meant that we were disadvantaged, and this company also we had to close down ultimately. Uh, while this was going on, there were three brothers from Saudi Arabia who one of whom had known me. They said that they are starting a venture in Saudi Arabia, and they asked me if I would join them. So I joined them, and here, by the fortunes, by the grace of God, we started extremely well, and we kept the momentum for a very long period of time. Within 19 months, we got orders from 8 ministries, and we we were delivering key solutions for the Saudi 2030 project of the country, and in terms of revenues, there were more than $50 million of revenue that he generated. Now, while this was going on very well, again fate intervened, where some differences occurred between the owners and me, and so I joined back the corporate world once again. So this is what is my life as an entrepreneur, between and which I want to start once again. Now, what am I doing to share these experiences with people is that my observation is that we have a lot of knowledge being shared by people who have been at the top of the organizations, mainly CEOs, CXOs. I have grown up reading books of Akoy Morita, Lee Iacocca, and all the kind of stuff. But there are a lot of people at the top of the organization who have provided their knowledge, and they are fantastic knowledge, which is to be inculcated into daily lives of every person who is working. However, I have spent most of my life in the middle management. Now, I do not find there is enough documentation of guidance for the middle managers. So that is why I have taken to writing books, where I am writing books which can help middle managers in managing their work. Now, the challenges of middle managers is slightly different from the challenges of the top management. Uh, it's not, I would not say different, it's unique, would be a better word. So the challenges of middle managers need to be addressed, and that's why I'm writing my experiences, so that in case some people can read these books and get some knowledge, I'd be more than grateful about that.
Amazing, Mr. Partha. So now that we have discussed your career journey, your professional pursuits, roles and responsibilities, let's dive into the subject of ESG and corporate governance. So here is my question to you, and a very obvious one. How and when did you develop an interest in ESG and corporate governance?
Well, corporate governance, I had no choice, because when I was working in my companies where I was playing a role, uh, though I told you I was in the middle management, but I had a role in defining some of the aspects of the corporate governance of the firms. Now, and this became a complete responsibility for me when I started my own enterprise. So I had to set the directions of the company, I had to set the guidelines of the company, etc. Now, regarding ESG, it so happened that when I was operating my firm, our chartered accountant told me about the requirements of corporate social responsibility. Now, this is required to be followed by every organization in India, and well, in terms of executing that, we were doing the normal thing, like the CA used to take decision regarding what he would do, and or how much of money has to be put in wherever, and things like that. But this was not sufficient for me. I wanted to get into details of that. So what I did was that I did a course on business continuity from a body of UN, and learned about business continuity. Here's where I was introduced for the first time to sustainable development goals, and I was deeply uh, motivated to do something about the SDGs. Now, I realized that there's not that I could do much about most of the 17 SDGs, but there were some SDGs in which I could make a contribution. For example, I realized that I can make a contribution regarding the SDG relating to education for all. Now, I am trying my best to create free programs, etc., through online platforms, which can reach to people, and they can take advantage of that. And I'm trying to enhance my knowledge also, so that I can explain things in a simple manner, so that it benefits people who are who really require this knowledge. Fortunately for us, there is this MOOC platform available in the world today, where education is accessible, and to many more people than before. All you need is the internet, and that's about it. Now, another area which is of deep interest to me is the carbon footprinting problem. Now, here I think I can make a contribution, simply because uh, among all the different things which cause the carbon disbalance is uh, the servers that we are running. The servers, now in the time of cloud computing, etc., we have large server farms which are generating a lot of energy, and this is basically because the programs which run on them require a lot of energy to be able to execute themselves. Now, here, as a experienced software developer, I have a role, I believe, where I can work towards technology which can help in the increasing the efficiency of the servers towards emitting less amount of poisonous material into the atmosphere. So I'm working on that, and this is my introduction to ESG. And let's see. I wish I not wish. I'm sure I will definitely make a contribution to this particular part of the story.
So, Mr. Partha, as a corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table?
Okay. Now, see, in corporate governance, one of the things which drives any corporate towards uh, planning the governance plan is to increase the efficiency of the organization. One of the obvious things which we are noticing for many years now is that we're trying to automate almost everything so that the efficiency goes up and the reliance of mistakes are made less and things like that. But I believe in corporate governance, I believe that there are not all functions which should be automated. Uh, this is my first observation, and that's how I set up my organizations at least. Few functions when I say that, first of all, there are many functions in the HR which I do not believe should be automated. For example, the recruitment process of an organization should not be automated, in my opinion, simply because uh, we have software which can help in recruitment process, but these software are not mature and are highly inadequate, in my observation. Uh, the inadequacy has a reason, basically because uh, recruitment process is not just about scanning CVs and reading text from them. It is more about, it's also about emotions. Now, the HR function as a whole requires a lot of emotions, a lot of empathy towards the people. Now, if we apply machines in doing these jobs, machines which do not have any kind of emotions in them, this, I believe, it is already doing damage to many people, and it will continue to do harm. And you know that in terms of artificial intelligence, we are in a phase where we have just about successfully developed some very shallow, narrow artificial intelligence. There's a long way to go where artificial intelligence is really, what do you call, effective, like, or somewhere about 30 to 40% close to how the human intelligence really works. So that will take at least 3 to 4 more decades, if not more. So where there are certain aspects of human beings, for example, emotion is something I talked about. Uh, we should not leave these works to machines. Now, I'm saying this in spite of the fact that I myself have been working on um, making machines do more and more work, but I have realized very firmly in my mind that there are certain functions which machines should not be doing. Another very important aspect. Now, this aspect I realized after working for a bank, that to a very large bank. Now, cybersecurity is a definite threat in the world today. There's no doubting about that. But the thing that the organization should be paranoid about it is not something I quite agree with. Now, in terms of setting up the framework of governance in terms of cybersecurity, I believe that yes, what do you call, acquired solutions, uh, uh, educate people, because cybersecurity is the responsibility of every individual in the organization. Even the smallest of the even the weakest of the link in the organization can cause the entire enterprise to be compromised. So it's a business of everybody. So it has to be, education has to be given to everybody, but the organization should not be paranoid. I want to tell one analogy in this effect. Now, supposing we are facing a wild elephant, a wild animal, and I have not experienced it myself, but I believe in what I have read so far. That is, if we are afraid of the wild animal, the chances that he will attack us is very high. Instead, if we can stay calm in that situation, the chances that he will not attack is very high. So this the same thing applies for enterprises also. If you are paranoid about cybersecurity, the chances that he will get attacked is very high. If you stay calm and yeah, do the normal things, but don't be paranoid about it. So these are two aspects of corporate governance which I wanted to highlight, where um, the firms which I'm setting up, we are trying to follow what I just discussed. Yes, and like I told you, I've been mainly in the middle management, so it's not, there are certain guidelines we defined for project management, etc., but not really on the financials of the company and all stuff. So, yeah. So, but I would love to see that my organization is not paranoid of cybersecurity, and we have more empathy in the organization towards other people. We do not destroy lives. That's the most important thing for us. And yeah, one more thing I'm very passionate about, and I want to be doing it right, is that uh, we had an organization where we failed because we could not collect money. That meant that we affected lives of a decent number of people. Now, what I tried under that circumstance is that before we asked those people to leave, I tried my best reaching out to all the people in the industry that I knew so that they could be absorbed. Now, it was fortunate for me that most of the people got absorbed except for 2 or 3 people who we kept with us till they found a suitable employment for themselves. Now, here I want to tell the organizations that this cycle of laying off people is I have seen this many times in my life, in my career, from different organizations, like when I was in Thailand or when I was in India. When a project fails or a project is terminated, people lose their jobs. Now, it should not be so fragile. The organization should take more responsibility, because yes, there are some people whose output is more and some people whose output is less. But I believe that every individual has got some unique capabilities, and it is the organization's responsibility to be able to tap into that unique capability of the organization, of that person. If you have taken a person into your ranks, you have to leave that person till the person is comfortable to leave you, without terminating him in between and causing a disruption in his life or her life. So this is one aspect of corporate governance which I want to do right in our organizations. Of course, not everything goes according to what you plan. There's a lot of things which God has planned for, and we got to obey those laws. But nevertheless, one can always have the intention and make the right efforts.
Rightly said, Mr. Majumdar. So, as someone working closely with technology, what are some of the most remarkable changes you have seen in your field with changes in technology? That is part A. And part B is, what changes do you expect to see with the advent of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, big data, Web 3.0, etc.?
Yeah. See, the most remarkable change what I've seen over the last 34 years is that when we started our career, we were building solutions from the scratch. Now, okay, one of the truly remarkable things what I experience in the world today is the internet. When we started, there was no internet. We used to read books, we used to buy books, we used to read books and gather knowledge, and then develop solutions from the scratch. Now, one thing is that I am truly a fan of internet simply because it has made life so easy. It is now you open the internet and ask a question and you get an answer which can lead to a solution which you can develop very easily. Now, the thing is that it should not be misutilized. That is, don't copy and paste as it is, but utilize the knowledge and create your own solutions. That is the spirit which is to be there. And another remarkable thing which has changed in the industry is that when we started developing a software, we were developing every component from the scratch. That is not the life right now. Right now, when software development is totally different, where components are available from various sources, one needs to find the right component and assemble them together to form a solution. Now, this is a new paradigm, and this paradigm has got a lot of benefits, simply because when I'm taking components which have been developed by experts, so they have most of the considerations required for that component. Of course, the component selection has to be right, but they have most of the requirements of the component embedded into them in the right manner. Also, as and when those components are enhanced by those experts, those enhancements are available to me in my solution. So I am taking the best of the world and create, and it is through this paradigm, it is possible to create very, very beautiful solutions, which was not possible earlier. Not that it was not possible, it was much more difficult earlier. This is one aspect. So this is a change. I believe this is a very good change which has happened in the software development industry. And now coming to a question regarding upcoming technologies, how they impact us. Now the thing is that I am very deeply involved in AI ML. Now AI ML has become essential simply because so much of data is available, and when data is available, it has to be made use of. Now, data is a currency now. That's what they say. Like, it's as good as gold. Now, when this gold is available, it has to be made use of. Now, the only thing which I feel very strongly is that uh, data analysis or predictive analytics or prescriptive analytics is not just a job of a specialized unit of our enterprise. It is the job of every individual in the enterprise, simply because unique data is available to every individual in the enterprise. It should be responsibility of every individual in the enterprise to utilize this data which is available to them so that unique solutions can be developed. I give you an example. For example, what do you call, in the support unit of a IT unit, there is unique information available regarding the bugs which are getting generated. And using this data, it is possible for the support unit to make a predictive analytics system which can predict what kind of solution can be applied to a particular bug. Now, these kind of problems will never come into the CDO or the CIO's view, or definitely the CEO's view, that what do you call, we need to make a system for this. However, if we can take advantage of this data and create a system which predicts the solutions, it can reduce the time to solve problems, which in turn can make the mean time between failure of solutions much lower, which will in turn actually help in the revenue saving of the organization. So what I'm trying to say is that this responsibility of making these solutions cannot be with a specific team which is responsible for data analysis, but it has to be there with every part of the organization. Every part of the organization has got unique data which only it will understand, and it can create solutions from them. Regarding IoT, we have a huge opportunity to create unique devices. There are many right now, but this journey has just started. I wish to see many fantastic devices. I use a few of them, and I'm creating a few of them as well. So yeah, this is something which is very exciting. And regarding blockchain, yeah, I am very fascinated by this technology, simply because this has the potential to break the walls across the globe in the financial world. So like, for example, we were creating a solution for Etisalat, Egypt, where we wanted to do the roaming settlements using blockchain. The idea was that right now what happens is that, supposing you're traveling to UK, you may be a Airtel subscriber in India. When you travel to UK, you may utilize the British Telecom network. Now, when you're using the British Telecom network, British Telecom has to accumulate all the charges which are due from you, and then send them across to Airtel, and Airtel will settle the charges with British Telecom, and then they will ask you for the payment against those charges in India. This is a long cycle. This is the way roaming works. However, if we could have blockchain solution, which we were trying to work in Etisalat, Egypt, when you travel to UK, and if you are blockchain enabled, so when you acquire your charges in UK, British Telecom can directly charge your blockchain account and recover the charges there and then itself. Your settlements are faster. The exposure to the companies is much lower. Right now, when you are in UK, and it has a possibility that it can take 72 hours for your charges to come from British Telecom to Airtel, in our example, up to 72 hours. Now, 72 hours, you can run a huge number of calls and increase the exposure of Airtel, right? So this cannot happen if in case the solution is made through blockchain, where instantly your account is charged on the blockchain by the visiting network. So yeah, I believe that blockchain technology has huge future, and the thing is that every technology has a good aspect and it can be exploited for a bad aspect as well. Now, the governments are required to be very vigilant, and they should anticipate what ill effects people can make out of technologies, and suitable laws, etc., should be passed so that the chances of misutilizing technology is minimized. Uh, yeah, but the thing is that in spite of having these thoughts about uh, dangers, I believe technology should move forward, and we should continue to utilize technology and help in the growth of the technology.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing such amazing insights into the different subjects. So this brings us to the last question of the session, and here it is. We are building a community of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. So what are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole team of World Development Corporation?
Well, the thing is that it's a fantastic initiative what has been taken. Thing is that the more you talk to people, the more you learn. And there is no greater service to mankind than sharing knowledge. Now, why this initiative I appreciate very much is simply because there are a lot of people in the industry or in the society whose point of views do not reach the potential what it needs to reach. It can be because those people are too shy to share their point of views. That can be one reason, or they are just not reachable by the sources which is available to us at this point of time. So now every individual, I believe, has got some unique experiences which adds to the knowledge of a lot of people. Every individual's experiences are unique and they cannot be replicated, and each have got some lessons to teach us. So this initiative what you have taken of talking to different people who are otherwise not very easily reachable will bring out a lot of knowledge which can benefit a lot of people. So I really appreciate this effort, and I wish you all the very best in this effort.
Great. It was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you, Mr. Majumdar, for joining us today. Wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute has unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Bye.